What's up, guys? Okay, so today we're going to be in Phoenix. Yes, I know. A dumpster fire masquerading as a city. Anyway, there's a father in Phoenix, and he's having a little bit of trouble keeping his 16-year-old son in line. He calls the police department for help. The father accused the 16-year-old son, Nino, they're calling him. The father and the son have the same name. The son is Sergio Nino something the third. Anyway, they call him Nino. And the father's accused this 16-year-old of hitting him in 2024 as part of a trend of misbehavior. Now, I'm not sure why we're in 2025 and he's called the cops because his son hit him in 2024 and he's having problems keeping him in line. But that's where we're at. The father says he has no control over the son, so he has called the cops to come and step in. Don't call the cops. No, do not. If you have a 16-year-old and you haven't disciplined them thus far, you're already behind the eight ball. We have 4 teenagers. Let's see, they're 18. I know. Takes a second. 18, 17, 16, and 15. Yes, I know. The fourth one's about to start driving, and they're about to drive us all crazy. But if you don't start disciplining them when they're younger, I'm not talking about child abuse. I'm not talking about beating them. I'm talking about a hand on the butt will correct some behaviors starting at a young age. Also, where's the mother at? I heard nothing about the mother. All I've heard is the father and the son. I would like to note, me and my husband have been married 2026 will be 30 years. Yes. There's always been 2 of us in the house. We've taken on parenting as a group effort, and you have to let children know their boundaries, because even though they know boundaries, they will try to further the boundaries. You have to keep them in line, or when they get older, you're already going to be behind the eight ball, is what I'm trying to say, if you don't start disciplining them when they are younger. So, we're in Phoenix with a father who's having issues with his 16-year-old son, so he has called the cops. So, this is from February. Then we're going to look at the notice of claim, and then we're going to go to yesterday, where we're at in all this crap show.
The father who called Phoenix police for help disciplining his child. By the time officers left the home, the teenager was headed to the hospital, bloodied and with a broken wrist. A teenager now taking steps to file suit against the officers and the city of Phoenix.
You're going to jail for aggravated assault.
A 16-year-old bloodied in his own home, eventually diagnosed with a broken wrist. But how did we get here? January of 2024. Officers responding to a home in Phoenix where a father accused his teenage son of hitting him, part of a trend of misbehavior.
I can't physically force him to get into anywhere. You know what I mean? He does his own thing. He runs that.
Well, you can. You're just choosing not to.
How though? I mean,
you drag him.
Really?
You drag him. You hit him. He is a child. He only has rights from the
You drag him, you hit him, he's a child. He only has rights from government. He has no rights from you. Where do they even get this? He only has rights from government. We're government. We give him his rights. No, you are born with inalienable rights. The government just can't figure out how many of those rights they want to let you exercise.
He has no rights from you. So if you wish to beat him, you can beat him. If you wish to belt him, belt him.
Video shows the...
This is a cop giving, in my opinion, legal advice to a father about his 16-year-old son.
Officers telling the father child services will throw any abuse complaints in the shredder if they see it as discipline. But the father still asks for the officer's help.
Yeah, so can you take his phone then? Can you talk to him? Can that be done?
Upstairs, officers meet Sergio.
Oh, what's going on? What's up? Hold up, just give me a...
Also, I would like to note that Sergio, not in here, but in a notice of claim, I guess at some point, says that his father doesn't pay for his phone. He pays for his own phone. Now, I don't know if Sergio works or not. I know this is how it worked in our house. When our kids turned 13, as long as they stayed in school, I mean, up to 13, it's kind of hard for them not to stay in school, made good grades, progressed, and moved along, you can go down to the store, you can pick out any phone you want, We'll put it on the account, and it'll be yours. Now, not theirs. It will be theirs to use. And trust and believe, I can see anything they're doing on their phones. Yes, there's apps for that. Also, it's known, outside of an occasional phone case and replacing screen protectors, this is the only phone that we will be buying. The next phone that you own, you will have a job and you will pay for it. That's how that works. As long as they have a job and it'll still be on the account, as long as they're paying for it, it's their phone. Yes, we can still see what they're doing on their phones. It is their phones. That's how that works. Now, I'm not sure what the whole setup is in this household, but that's the setup in our household.
He was 16 in this video, but now he's 18. Video shows the teen asking officers if his dad can hit him. They tell him it's okay.
Actually, he was looking at
Your dad should beat you. Other than sending you to the hospital, your dad should beat
Your dad should beat you. Other than sending him to the hospital, his dad should beat him. This cop tells him.
you. Anything in your room is gone.
These officers didn't just fail to protect Sergio, they encouraged child abuse.
Attorney Larry Wolkin is now representing Sergio in a notice of claim against the officers in the city of Phoenix, alleging excessive force.
Ford, what is shocking is not only was there no attempt to de-escalate, the opposite
There never is.
happened. The officers ratcheted up the situation.
They always do.
Wolkin is talking about this moment. Officers taking Sergio's phone.
Now, if somebody grabs your phone from behind, your natural response is to reach for it. And they said because he touched that officer when he went to grab his phone, he assaulted that officer.
Reaches for it, taking him to the ground.
This isn't just about one teenager. This is about a culture in the Phoenix Police Department that allows actions like this to go unanswered.
The police report says Sergio pushed an officer, but Wolkin says charges were dropped and says the incident left Sergio with 5 stitches and a broken wrist. While outside in handcuffs, Sergio seemed to already be planning a legal fight.
You're gonna spend some time at the hospital, then you're gonna go to jail. Probably some money too.
Yeah, big zero. Sergio's attorney now says they're willing to settle for $500,000. Over the past week, we reached out multiple times to Phoenix police for comment, asking if this use of force was in policy. We just heard back from them this morning, a spokesperson telling us the incident is pending litigation and pointing us to public records associated with the incident. One police source did tell me there is a Professional Standards Bureau investigation into the incident, and they said staffing issues in this specific precinct have led to less training and oversight for officers.
Staffing issues have led to less training and oversight. Make that make sense. They're already, I think here's the way police departments hire now. I think they just drive down the road and they just random throw badges out. Hey, show up at the police department if you want a job. When they show up, they give them a gun and a uniform, and that is it. That whole statement is total bullshit.
In the newsroom, Fort Hatchet, ABC 15, Arizona.
Now, I don't know what he said his name was, but anyway, whoever you are, thank you. So let's go to the notice of claim. February 25th. We represent Sergio Nino III. Sergio, and this is his notice of claim. On January 23rd, 2024, Sergio's father called the Phoenix Police Department to come to his house. Sergio's father shares the same name as his son and is therefore referred to as Mr. Nino to avoid confusion. When officers Christopher Grise, Blake Willer, and Matthew Smith arrived at his home, because you're not going to hear them cops' names on the news, Mr. Nino told them that Sergio had been acting out by missing school and not wanting to give Mr. Nino his cell phone. The officer's entire interaction with Mr. Nino and Sergio was captured by their body cameras. For your convenience, the footnotes of this notice will direct you to the portion of the video documenting the shocking events that are described below. The officers advised Mr. Nino to drag Sergio and hit him. They went on to tell Mr. Nino that if you wish to beat him, beat him. If you wish to belt him, because Sergio only has rights from the government. He has no rights from you. They can't. This is where we're at. They then advised Mr. Nino if he's going to treat you like garbage, you treat him like garbage. Throw him out on the streets. After 10 minutes of discussion with the officers, Mr. Nino asked, "So, can you take his phone? Then, can you talk to him?" Mr. Nino then took the officers to Sergio's room. The officers ordered Sergio, a 16-year-old teenager, to come out of his room. Sergio complied in a calm, non-aggressive manner. When Sergio came out of his room, the officers immediately began to harass and demean him, of course, because that's all they're good for. Escalate. Sergio told officers that his father abuses him, despite being mandatory reports of child abuse pursuant to ARS State Statute 3620A2. The officers outright dismissed Sergio, telling him that he had not been abused and that Mr. Nino could hit Sergio, tackle him, do whatever he wants. As Sergio tries to further explain Mr. Nino's physical abuse, Officer Wheeler told Sergio, "You have no rights. Your dad should beat you." Sergio's sister confirmed Sergio's claims, but like Sergio, she was ignored and dismissed by the officers without showing any interest in or making investigations into the reported child abuse. Then Mr. Nino asked for Sergio's phone. The officers told Sergio to give it to him. Sergio explained that the phone was his own property, that he pays his own phone bill. The officers ignored Sergio and threatened to use force to make him give the phone to his father. We can put handcuffs on right now. When Sergio inquired about the reason the officers believed he could be handcuffed, Officer Gries responded, "Just to detain you because you're being a little brat." Sergio then asked officers, "So my dad can physically abuse me?" The officers responded, "Yes." Sergio then took out his phone to record the interaction with the officers as depicted in images below. Officer Wheeler abruptly snatched Sergio's phone out of his hands. And this is just a timestamp showing you what you can go look at in the footage. Looking at the phone, and then this dumbass is going to grab it. And anybody that grabs your phone, your immediate response is going to be, "Hey, my phone." I'm just throwing that out there. Surprised Sergio aggressive and was a natural logical response under the circumstances. Reasonable law enforcement officers could not have thought Sergio was assaulting them or otherwise posing any threat. Yes, but they're going to say that gives them a reason to take you to the ground and then do whatever they're going to do. Immediately after Sergio turns toward Officer Wheeler, Officer Gries and Wheeler attacked Sergio. The officers pummeled Sergio face down to the ground, causing a 3-centimeter laceration to Sergio's face, from which blood splattered all over the scene. Yes, you can see it right there. Face is very vascular, particularly around the eye area, the nose area, the mouth area, and the chin area. Sergio immediately cried out in pain and begged the officers to loosen the handcuffs around his wrist. The officers ignored him, and in the few minutes it took the officers to move Sergio out of the house. Sergio told the officers the handcuffs were too tight more than 25 times. The officers, who clearly heard Sergio's complaints, chose to ignore Sergio's injury over and over, instead telling him that it was his fault he was injured. "It's your fault you made us manhandle you." Because Sergio was bleeding profusely from the laceration on his face, the officers took him to JCL Deer Valley for medical examination. A nurse noticed Sergio was tearful and complaining of pain, so she asked the officers to loosen Sergio's handcuffs. The officers refused, claiming the handcuffs were not tight and that Sergio was moving too much. The nurse also relayed to the officers that Sergio was reporting that his father abused him. Again, instead of taking a report of child abuse seriously, as they are statutorily required to do, the officers dismissed Sergio's claims of child abuse. To justify their deliberate indifference to these repeated reports of child abuse, the officers wrote in their incident report that they explained the circumstances to the nurse and reported that Sergio had not made a prior claim of abuse, which was completely false. When the nurse alerted the officers to the fact that Sergio's right wrist was swelling, the officers finally complied with the request to loosen the handcuff on Sergio's right wrist. An x-ray taken at the hospital revealed that Sergio had a fractured wrist for which he required surgery. After the fact, the officers admitted in their incident report that it was visually obvious that Sergio's right wrist was limp when he was handcuffed and when he was on the ground, but that they failed to notice this fact, the same fact that Sergio brought to their attention more than 25 times. Admitted in their incident report that it was visually obvious that Sergio's right wrist was limp when he was handcuffed and when he was on the ground. They failed to notice this fact. How did they fail to notice it, but it was in the incident report? Sergio was also treated for a 3-centimeter long facial laceration caused by the officers when they slammed him into the floor. He needed 5 sutures to repair his facial laceration, and may be left with permanent facial scarring. Sergio's wrist injury has hindered Sergio's ability to engage in daily activities such as writing, working out, and playing video games. To this day, Sergio's daily life has been limited by his wrist injury. Sergio continues to suffer from the injuries, the medical expenses, and their impact on his life. There was no imminent threat to the officer's safety when they used excessive force on Sergio, a nonviolent and unarmed minor who had merely reached for his phone in a non-aggressive manner. Contrary to the false statements made by the officers in their incident report, the body camera footage shows that Sergio did not ball his fist, lunge, or act aggressively during his interaction with the officers. Now, at some point, the chief's going to come out and say they acted within departmental policy. That's usually the way it goes, is what I'm saying. The officer's excessive force and their deliberate indifference to his injuries caused by that force were objectively unreasonable. Should this claim remain unresolved, we intend to bring an action against the City of Phoenix and officers Christopher Grise, Blake Willer, and Matthew Smith, and their spouses, if any, to preserve our client's ability to recover from any community property implicated by the officer's misconduct. Yes, they should go after them. At some point, insurance companies are going to have to say, no, we're not doing this anymore. And let these damn police departments go set up a damn, a food truck to pay their bills. ARS State Statute 12-821.01 requires a claimant to include in a notice of claim a specific dollar amount for which their claim can be settled. The amount is $500,000. This demand is eminently reasonable and intended to result in an early resolution to this matter. If this offer is not accepted, please be assured that any future settlement offers will increase given the additional and substantial attorney fees and expenses Sergio will be forced to incur in pursuing legal action. Sincerely, here's the law firm. Yes. Don't call them. Don't let them in your house. Don't. Just don't. Please don't. So, this is the notice of claim, and here's where we are as of yesterday.
So if you wish to beat him, you can beat him. You wish to belt him, belt him.
You might remember this video we shared earlier this year of Phoenix police and their response to a house call in 2024. We reported on a notice of claim alleging during this call they broke a 16-year-old's wrist. We now have new footage and updates. Our Fort Hatchett has been on this from the very beginning, talking to the teenager's attorney about what this new evidence means for their case.
In February, we first brought you video of Phoenix officers responding to a dispute between a father and son.
You drag him. You drag him, you hit him. He's his child. He only has rights from the government.
Again, he only has rights from the government. We are government. We give him his rights, and we will take them when we want to. He is so full of shit.
No rights from you. So if you wish to beat him, you can beat him. You wish to belt him, belt him.
Officers eventually encountering
Those cops should be charged criminally.
then 16-year-old Sergio Nino.
Actually, he was looking at me.
Your dad should beat you.
Yes. Other than sending you to the hospital, your dad should beat you. Anything in your room is gone.
Eventually taking him to the ground, Sergio and his attorney filing a notice of claim against Phoenix and the officers earlier this year.
The new video shows us why the officers did what they did. Sergio took out his phone when he heard the officers say to his father that he could abuse him in his own home.
The new video angle shows Sergio recording the officer then grabbing the phone, and as Sergio reaches for it, a scuffle follows.
None of this happens if the officers in this case don't grab Sergio's phone, start a fight, use excessive force against Sergio, and send him to the hospital. All for what?
The video then shows one officer slamming Sergio to the ground. In the police report, officers say Sergio pushed an officer and balled his fist toward the officer.
Sergio wasn't
Complete lies.
violent. He wasn't resisting the officers. All he was trying to do is record their nonsense.
The teen was bandaged and later diagnosed with a broken wrist.
Look at my chin. I don't care. Because you're resisting, you wouldn't go on in the handcuffs. You got tossed on the ground like a doll, you don't act like one. We could have punched you right in the face.
Sergio initially charged with aggravated assault, but his attorney says those charges were dropped. Officers at the scene recounting to supervisors what happened.
He got the ground pretty high. That's the problem. Yeah.
The teen's dad told officers that Sergio had previously stolen and crashed a family car. Outside, officers maintained that Sergio's dad could beat him.
I don't know where you're getting this legal advice from, but you should stop.
As an attorney, when I heard that and saw this video, I thought to myself, these officers better get some good legal advice.
Phoenix police tell me they can't comment on pending litigation, but sources told us this incident is already part of a Professional Standards Bureau review. In Phoenix, Fort Hatchet.
Professional Standards Bureau post, Peace Officer Standard and Training. And the unions will get behind them, and the unions will, likely nothing's going to happen to them, is what I'm saying.
At ABC 15, Arizona.
Oh, stop. So, yeah. This is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Do you think for 1 minute these cops care? They don't. They have no skin in the game. Like doctors, they should individually have to pay for liability insurance. If it's good enough for a doctor, why isn't it good enough for them? And be bonded. So they got $1 million bond that they're paying on. So when the shit goes south, he can go after the bond. And when the bond isn't enough to cover what they're asking for, they can take anything that secures the bond. The house, the car, the boat, the toaster oven, the microwave, the Vitamix, whatever. Until they have skin in the game, they don't care. The unions are going to back them. The chief is probably going to back them. So why should they care? Anyway, that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, I don't know if I said at the beginning, 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I am out.